All right, if you're in the pharma world, you know this headache all too well. Managing all your engagements with healthcare professionals, it can feel like a total nightmare, just an absolute maze. So today, we're diving into a way to unify that whole process and finally, leave all that complexity behind.
I mean, does this just hit a little too close to home? For so many organizations, this tangled web isn't just some minor inconvenience. No, it's the daily reality. It's a system that's practically built to create friction, cause errors, and just waste so much valuable time.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we're really going to dig into the problem, what we're calling the operational quagmire. Then we'll look at the solution, the promise of unification. After that, we'll see how an all-in-one lifecycle actually puts that promise into practice. And finally, we'll get to the good stuff, the tangible impact all of this can have.
Okay, let's jump right in with the problem. Section 1, the operational quagmire. And this is all about that daily chaos that happens when the tools and processes you rely on just don't talk to each other.
And here's the fundamental disconnect, right? The goal is always, 100% of the time, perfect accuracy and compliance. But the reality? Well, thanks to this unwieldy machine of separate systems, the reality is a constant state of anxious scrambles and last-minute manual checks. It's a process that's almost designed to fail. In this workflow, this shows you exactly how it all breaks down. A needs assessment kicks off in one system. Then pre-approval happens in a totally different one. Contracts? Oh, those are usually done manually, just floating around in email threads. Finance processes payments in yet another system, and compliance is this frantic manual scramble to pull everything together. You can see it, right? Every single one of these handoffs is a potential point of failure. But, and this is the good news, it absolutely does not have to be this way. And that brings us to our second section, the promise of unification. We're not talking about some minor tweak here. This is about fundamentally redesigning the entire process, right from the ground up.
Okay, I love this metaphor because it makes so much sense. Think about building your dream house. You're not going to hire a dozen different architects with a dozen different blueprints, are you? Of course not. You'd want one master plan. Well, that's what true unification is. It's applying that exact same logic to your operations to create one seamless, coordinated process.
And let's be super clear here. This is not about just throwing another piece of software into the mix. That would probably just make things worse. This is a complete philosophical shift, moving away from a messy collection of tools to a single, intelligent solution where every single piece is built to work together. So how does this whole unification thing actually work? What does it look like in practice? Well, that brings us to Section 3, the all-in-one lifecycle. This is where we'll see what it's like when every step is managed seamlessly, from the very beginning to the very end. Just imagine this for a second. From the initial needs assessment, to getting contracts digitized and signed, to handling complex fair market value, or FMV, payments to make sure compensation is totally appropriate, all the way to generating that supercritical transparency of value data for compliance reporting, it's all handled inside one single platform. And honestly, that's just scratching the surface. And what happens when you bring all of this together? Well, you create a single source of truth. And think about what that means for a second. No more trying to reconcile data between 5 different spreadsheets. No more lost information buried in some email chain. And no more entering the same data over and over again. Just one place for the correct, up-to-date information, period. Now, this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually feel like for the people doing the work every day? Let's get into the tangible impact, that incredible shift from chaos and complexity to clarity and, believe it or not, even a little bit of joy. All right, so this is the million-dollar question, right? After you make this fundamental shift, what is the actual, measurable, real-world result? What really changes? The answer is actually beautifully simple. At its core, the impact is just a much better and a dramatically faster way of doing things. It just cuts right through all the noise and delivers pure efficiency. And this is the real game changer. We're talking about processes that once took days of painstaking coordination, endless follow-ups, and manual work that can now be done in just hours, or in some cases, even minutes. That's a complete transformation of your team's capacity, giving them back hundreds of valuable hours every single month. These are really the core pillars of that transformation: simplicity, efficiency, and speed. When you get rid of the bottlenecks and automate the workflows, you don't just move faster. You're also slashing costly errors and unlocking a significant amount of time and money by cutting down that administrative burden. And maybe most importantly, let's talk about the human element here. It means less pain for your internal teams who are finally freed from all those frustrating, repetitive tasks. And that means more joy, not just for them, but also for the healthcare professionals they work with, who now get a smooth, professional, and totally seamless experience.
So, after seeing this whole journey, from that tangled mess to a single unified platform, the last question is really for you to think about in your own organization. Can you see the value instantly?